All right, the first thing I'm going to show you how to create is a simple coil. Coils work great for things like arms, legs, if you're going to make a person or an animal, but you can also make a really cool coil pot. So I'm going to show you a really simple coil pot. The first thing I'm going to do is just section off a little bit for the base of my pot. So I'm just sectioning off a little, and then I'm going to section off a little bit for decorations for my pot. And then the rest will be my main coil. So to create a coil, all I do is shape my clay into a hot dog shape. So I'm just squeezing it like this into a nice hot dog shape. Squeeze it. Once it's pretty even, you can begin to roll it. Now I have, I'm rolling mine on a paper, so I have to hold the paper down with one hand. But if you're doing it just on a tabletop, you can roll with two hands and kind of try to pull your hands to the outside of edges and press down as you go. I want my coil to be the same thickness the whole way. So once I see that one side of the coil is getting skinny, like over here, I know that I can move my hand to a different part of the coil. Okay, so we're just going to make a long string or long like snake shape. Rolling my coil. This is a really nice long one to create my coil pot. And I can kind of stretch it a little bit. All right. Now, in order to make our pot, we need to have a base. So I'm going to roll this little section that I had kept apart into a ball. So I'm just rolling it between my hands, two flat palms. Once I have a nice ball, I'm going to smash it and make this the bottom of my pot. Now, you need to make your base as large as you want your pot to be. I don't want mine to be too big, so I'm just going to make it about that big. If this were real clay, we would need to scratch up this surface and add some water to it to kind of glue our coil down. But since we're using homemade Play-Doh today, it should just stick. And if you find that your Play-Doh is a little bit dry, you can add a little bit of water with your finger. Just dip your finger in some water and run it along the base if you find that your Play-Doh is dry. But it should just stick. So I'm going around the outer edge of that base first, and as I go, I'm going to lay my coil right on top of itself. We're building the walls of our pot. And once I'm done with the walls of my pot, I'm going to build a little decorative edge. So I think that's enough. So I run around about twice around the whole thing. You can see it's not that deep. I'm going to now use the rest of my clay to make some smaller coils for a decorative edge along the top. So I'm going to do that same technique, squeeze it into a hot dog shape first. And remember, coils work really well if you're going to make, say, an octopus. This would work great to make tentacles. If you're going to make an animal, a coil shape works great for legs and arms. You just have to remember that your legs would be thicker than your arms. But you can make lots of different things using coils. A pot is just one of them. All right. I'm going to make these coils a little bit skinnier because they're going to be like little swirls along the top edge of my pot to make a decoration. Now, if you do have that plastic knife, now is a good time to use that to cut your coil into smaller pieces. Try to make them about the same size, same length. All right. Now, I could continue that with the rest of it, but I'm going to make this into a little swirl like a snail. So I'm just sticking it together to make a cute swirl, and I'm going to attach that swirl on the top of my pot. And look, it's going to make a really cute little edge. Now, I don't want to take up all of your time showing you this, but what you can do is continue to make more and more swirls all the way around the top edge. And then at the end, you could make one more long coil to give it a nice even edge. But I'm going to keep going with my swirls. And you can make any kind of decoration you want. Now, if I had continued my swirls and went the whole way around my pot, at the end, I could use one more coil to go around the top edge just like that to give it a nice finished look. All right, moving on to a slab technique.